Hi, welcome to Entre Culturas podcast. My name is Jagruti, and this will be one of the first of many episodes in English. I originally started Entre Culturas in Spanish, but I want to open up the space for English-speaking guests and listeners. Entre Culturas directly translates to between cultures. And that's pretty much what this podcast is about. What it means to grow up, live, and adapt between cultures. Me personally, I was born and raised in Panama. My mom's Brazilian and my dad's Indian. And pretty much I've had to kind of explain where I'm from my whole life. I think you can see my dog. Yep, that's her. There you go. Right, where was I? I spent most of my life explaining where I'm from. As soon as people hear my name, they don't really expect me to say that I'm Panamanian. Or if I say I'm Indian, they don't expect me to be Panamanian and Brazilian as well. So I kind of lived my whole life constantly introducing myself and re-explaining this whole mix of cultures that has shaped me who I am today. That's what I want to talk about in this podcast. I want to talk about these identity clashes and these cultural differences and the expectations and what it is to live or to be caught in these different worlds. In today's episode number 3, we will be talking with my cousin Jasmine, who has recently moved to Panama. And even though she's been surrounded by the Indian community here in Panama, she has found some cultural clashes, which has, honestly, it has surprised me. We're gonna talk about that transition and how moving here has challenged certain expectations. I have only learned that she was my cousin very recently, but when I met her, I did not expect her to be so funny, outgoing, and laid back. Our sense of humor instantly matched, and I feel like she really represents a more modern, unexpected side of India, which also surprised me. I am really excited for you to hear her story. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow the podcast. You can leave comments and questions in the comment section. Now, enjoy this next episode. Hola, bienvenidos a Entre Culturas. Mi nombre es Jagruti. Hoy estoy con mi querida prima Jasmine.
Hola.
Este episodio del día de hoy va a estar en inglés, pero van a haber subtítulos en español y espero que sea, I forgot the word, enjoyable. How do you say enjoyable in Spanish? Wow,
Yeah,
I suck.
I'm the first person you asked that.
How do you say enjoyable in Spanish? ChatGPT.
That is easily a Googleable question.
Yeah, I don't Google anymore.
That's just sad.
Why? Google is in the past. Everything that Google has, ChatGPT has, and it answers you, hey, darling.
Aww.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get used to that. I still Google everything.
Espero que sea agradable como los otros episodios en español. Because they're kind of funny about that. Like
Really?
when there's like English around.
Is anyone like people are gonna watch this? No.
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
hopefully. I hope so.
No, does it make it unwatchable? Like, if it's in English?
If it's, because I'm targeting more of the Spanish
exactly. The target audience
viewing.
just.
So hopefully we target other language speakers instead of Spanish
Jasmine.
with this.
My followers.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see it.
Wow. Great.
Yeah, I'm not famous, I promise.
Whoa. I don't believe you for some reason. So, a little introduction that I'm going to give it and then you can follow up.
Okay.
I like introducing my guests. Steal the spotlight a little bit. You are first of all my cousin. You were born and raised in India, and you're here living in Panama. Here meaning Panama. living in Panama for the past
1.5 years.
1.5 years. Okay. Um, Tell me a little bit, like a short, like an introduction about you. Like what, like how do you introduce yourself to people?
How do I introduce?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Well, my full name, Jasmine Jechandani. Um, well, I have done so many things in life that it's really hard to pin one thing down. One thing. Like, what do I do? I'm a cosmetologist right now. I work at a spa and I teach dances for Indian weddings here in Panama. I used to do that back in India as well, but, well, professionally, I've started here.
Nice.
Yes.
Here in Panama, obviously we have like a good, like a big Indian community, I must say, yeah,
Pretty huge.
of different types of Indians,
Yes.
if I may.
Yeah.
How has it been you, like when I like to describe people from India that has grown and raised in the motherland as full Indians, because I myself, I'm a half. My dad's Indian, my mom's Brazilian. What? I was born and raised in Panama, and so I don't, like, there's a lot of moments where I'm like, I'm pretty Indian, and then there's a lot of moments where I'm
Are you
like,
though?
I'm nothing. I'm nothing.
Yeah,
Like
no.
I go to India and I'm like,
No.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Like what? Like I'm a tourist. Like I'm not. It just my facial structures and my name are pretty Indian.
Yeah.
But like being fully Indian, living in Panama, how has it been adapting culturally, not only to the Panamanian culture, but the Indian culture that exists here in itself?
In Panama. Well, not gonna lie, it's super, super different. Like, I had nothing, I had no preconceived, like, I had nothing in my head before I met the Indians here. I was like, yeah, they're Indians, they're gonna be Indians. But then eventually and gradually, I was like, okay, not the same. Very different.
You feel like us Indians that have, or the Indians that have moved here and Indians our age that have grown and have been raised in this country, in Panama, you think we're very different?
Super different.
Even with
Very-
like two Indian parents?
Well, I would, okay, the generation before, they're still more Indian than my generation here. People who have met here, my age, no, not Indian. I would not say that, when I talk to aunties, I would say, okay, resemblance. I see,
Resemblance, but not
same.
same?
No,
Really?
no.
Like what makes them different though? What
different.
makes, okay, let's talk about the older generation. Our parents and our aunts and uncles. What makes them different from, for example, aunts and uncles back home, back in India?
I'll tell you what, a funny thing. I feel like the India they remember, one is not there anymore.
Okay.
So when I talk to them, it brings me back, like when I was little, and when I would talk to my uncles and aunties then. But even my parents are not like that anymore. Back in India, I would say 10 years down the line, it brings me back those memories.
Wait, so wow. So older generation Indians in Panama are stuck in back in 10 years
Older India.
of India.
Yes, it has changed so much. I feel like I've had this conversation with a lot of aunties and older people here that whenever they go back to India and then they come back and they're like, oh my God, India's changed so much. I'm like, yes, it has.
That's what usually happens naturally in a
Yeah,
country.
it has. It is not the same. So even they realize it. And I feel like whenever I talk to them about it, okay, I've had two different conversations about this. One with people who have not been to India in a while. And they're like, oh, so Panama must be super different for you. It is different, sure. But nothing I didn't see coming. well, with our phones, it has gotten smaller. I feel like I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah.
The world has gotten so small that I know that what was happening.
Yeah.
But
you were connected and you already.
yeah, but the people who have not been to India in a while, they ask me that differently. You know, oh, so you must not like the food here. Oh, you must not be you must not be used to the people. And I'm very comfortable in general.
Yeah.
And the food wasn't a problem, honestly. But the questions they ask me are way different from the
Okay.
questions the people who have recently visited would ask me. Like, oh, India's so changed. I see what's going on now. Because it's funny how when I meet Indians here, they look at me and they go like, oh, you don't seem like you're from India.
Oh, messed up. What did they expect? You to like wear a kurti everywhere and like
have the dupatta.
yeah.
Hello,
and like your
uncles.
slick back hair every single time because
Yeah, I mean, basically to not be able to hold a conversation.
oh
Yeah,
shoot.
I feel like I've been seen in a way like, oh, she can talk. Oh,
She's not reserved.
She's not reserved.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not saying that I have good fashion sense, but well, oh, she dresses well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so we, and I'm gonna generalize this week because I'm part of that community. We have a preconceived notions of Indian
Yeah.
being like not well dressed, they don't talk well,
Not being able to hold a conversation.
not confident,
Not confident.
not outgoing,
Not outgoing.
super religious,
Super religious. Oh my
arty
God.
every morning, right?
Yeah, well, not against it. I mean, I do pray and everything.
Yes.
And I am very Indian.
Yeah.
Like, I am very extremely Indian.
Of course, you're
Yeah, I am from there.
Yeah. But the very Indian that we have in mind is not the modern Indian that
anymore.
you're representing. Yeah.
You're thinking about the girl you were back then.
Ooh. Tell that to an auntie. Oh, that's a hit.
It's not their fault. I get it. It was difficult.
Yeah.
It was suppressed. It was not easy. Even my childhood was not easy. But luckily, I have amazing parents. Amazing parents. My dad let me do everything that I wanted to. I've not been confined in my house, which is why I think it plays a major role in me being outgoing and confident.
Yeah.
No. It's a personality trait.
Yeah.
Of course, not everyone in India is outgoing. Not everyone in India is confident. But not everyone here is outgoing.
Yeah.
Not everyone
That's
here has a personality.
Even here in a Latin country where it is supposed to be like open and everybody's like warmer and whatever or whatnot. People here are pretty reserved. Some people are pretty outgoing, and so there is a balance in every culture and religion. And it doesn't mean that because they're from like a closed-minded country, they're all gonna be like that. And so I think that's a misconception that is really good to talk about because when I know, like as a Latin Indian, that I know we're different.
Yeah.
And I feel it every single time I go to India. But lately, as a grown adult, when I've gone to India, it has felt like more welcoming. I feel like more like people around me are like super chill and vibey and like I can get along with people and go out and have dinners and go party and it'll feel like great. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, I'm in India, I should behave. No, it's like, no.
Dress more modestly.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to see people dressed unmodestly, way more unmodestly than you would ever imagine. But, well, again, that's a choice.
Yeah.
Well, I think that happens as an NRI, I would say. Since I've been there
NRI?
and here for a while.
Non-resident
Indian. Yeah.
Ooh.
Back in the days, I was saying that it was not as common for someone from out of India. They've lived there for their whole life and then they come. So you get that kind of, that special treatment, the respect, and people tend to behave differently, right? Now that it's more common and like I said, the world has gotten super small. People are not
When you say small, sorry for interrupting, But when you say super small, you mean like we're all connected, that we know what's happening?
Yeah.
Small
Yeah.
that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the olden days, when somebody from out of India would come, we have this thing in mind. Oh my God, what a life they must have. Oh my
Yeah.
God, they're accustomed to good things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And Indians, I would say, have been very underconfident most of their lives. So when somebody from outside comes to you in their life, and since like money is a big thing, and you earn better
Yeah.
when you're not in India.
Yes.
A Not saying that you don't earn better while in India. Basically, the dollar thing.
But the economy is
the
different.
this
Yeah.
and that. And I do agree that you're accustomed to better things.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, I would say they would, be all, everything's the head, I think. That, oh, she's from outside, she's had a better life. So you give that respect and you give that special treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also, when you're doing that, I feel like you lower yourself down a little bit.
You mean like
Like, oh, you're better.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
You mean like people in India has that view of us, that because we're
Initially.
from outside, we've had a better life.
A better life.
The thing is,
a better.
and I know that you've experienced that because your aunt and our parents,
Yeah.
my mom who had to adapt also, but even my dad, like adapting to Panama, we've all, or they who came first have all had a hard time
Hard time. Exactly.
adapting here to
Yeah,
get
no.
to where they are. And it doesn't mean that it finishes. We're in every stage of our lives, in every year, we're always adapting. We're always going through, very hard things. And so but that's really funny that they kind of like,
Yeah.
they kind of have like a lower
Oh, they have a better life.
yeah, than us
Yeah.
who are in India.
Yeah. And now that I moved to Panama, and I do see that, no, it was difficult for them to,
Yeah.
it was really, really, it's commendable, and I have so much respect that it was difficult for them to adjust new language, new people, new
Yes.
culture. Everything was like new.
Yeah.
And it's easier for me. I have a phone, I can translate, I can go anywhere
But back
I want
then there was
to.
no internet, so you
there was
had to
no
like
internet, no nothing.
roughly learn
That was-
what
It is-
water mean or food means or money and counting in Spanish and all that stuff to be
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
survive.
Exactly.
How have you done with the language though? Because I've heard you speak Spanish and it sounds really fucking good. And I'm not saying that because like you're my cousin or anything. Like I'll tell you, like you suck, girl. Like
I know.
let's practice.
I know you
but
will.
you like sound really good. You understand most of it.
I understand a lot more than I used to, and I do try to speak as much as I can. But I think having a lot of languages on my sleeves helps because, well, I know a lot. Like I can speak 4 languages and I understand like 3 more, and Spanish is an addition. So I'm used to different pronunciations.
What other languages besides?
Well, Hindi, English, Sindhi because I'm Sindhi, Gujarati because I lived in Gujarat. I understand a lot of Marwari because most of my friends are Marwari. Punjabi I understand.
Wow.
And what else?
Wow, that's a lot of
I think I'm
languages.
missing something. But yeah.
And they're all different.
They're all different. Different dialects. Different, no grammar. Nothing is similar.
Wow, the brains that you require.
No.
I'm like on my limit. I'm trying to squeeze in a little bit of Sindhi and Hindi, but I cannot for the life of God, but whatever. In like your own perspective, when you look, because I feel like when you move into a new country, which I've had to do, you kind of start looking more inwardly, like more on your own, more on how this is all affecting you. You start learning more about yourself with all the difference that is surrounding you. How has what is your point of view on that? Like have you learned anything lately about yourself that you're like, oh, I wonder, yeah.
For sure.
This is who I am. Wow.
For sure. It's so different when you're living with your parents. you're like a different person. And when you finally go out, move out, and especially go to a new country, it is, you, first of all, you understand how well you take that pressure and how well you can direct and keep redirecting yourself. With the language, of course, even though I understand, I've of course had problems communicating with people who are not in my close circle, who don't speak English. So I have to have like that. When you can't speak, it's frustrating, and how you handle that, how you handle that, it teaches you a lot about yourself. Like moving to a new country, I would say, I have moved before from my house for college, but I was in India.
In India.
And even that was revolutionary for me.
Of course.
I was like taking care of food, house, this, that. And being independent is a blessing in disguise. Honestly. I feel like in COVID, when we were all stuck together with our parents, that also taught a lot.
Yeah.
But, well, that's a topic for another day. And I moved right after COVID. So it was like so close together.
And
then
all apart.
All apart.
Barely no contact.
Yeah. But, well, since I live with my aunt, it helps a lot. I can't imagine people who are living alone. I don't know how they're doing it.
Yes.
I'm losing my mind.
Just thinking about it. Yeah. just living here. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been very privileged on that part.
Yeah.
Like I live with her. I have people who help me with food and everything. So yeah.
That's the good part of living. I feel like living in Panama is that you also have like it's kind of similar to India, where you have available help that you can, you know, whether like when I moved to Canada or the US or North America, getting someone to cook for you is so expensive.
It's like you have to pay them and then beg them to do it for you.
Yes, and also like a cleaning person that will help you clean. And I say help because it's like literally feels like they're helping you. And yeah, you're paying for a service, but you really have to choose the days. You can't have someone every day. And so, yes, I feel like Panama has a lot of that available.
Oh, yeah. So grateful.
And I'm pretty sure that has been like easier to...
Yes, it has. But like, then I also shifted from being someone who would work from home and a student, from working full time, constantly on the job. And my job is tough. Like we stand all day and stuff like that. I start from 8 to I work till 6. So after that, I don't wanna see
anybody.
I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to look at the kitchen. I want someone to give my like. It was so easy. I miss my mom.
Do you get tired when you're like a full 8 to 9 hour of work, like hearing a language that you don't understand probably like a 20% of the time, and you're like your mind must be
all over
exhausted,
the place.
All over the place.
Yeah. Again, redirecting yourself again and again. It gets annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I would wanna sit down, have a conversation in my language, and not think about if I'm saying it right, if I'm doing something wrong, constantly, like figuring things out, like if I'm supposed to do it like that or not,
Yeah.
And also a major difference back in India and here. Here, you're supposed to say please and thank you a lot.
Yes.
Which is great. Over there also, it's not like we're rude, but it's not obligated. And I feel like you mean it when you're actually saying it over there, and over here it's just like a regular drill.
It's just to be...
It's a drill, like, oh, hola, ¿cómo estás?
It's to be polite. Politeness is a very cultural thing in Latin countries.
Yeah.
Also in basically all America is like that. I feel like once you cross that ocean,
you
it
have
changes.
to have like a small talk before you actually get to the point.
Yes. I hate that actually. Actually, I only make friends, or the friends that stick around is the friends that I can chat like I'm coming over and without saying hi, how are you? What are you doing?
Exactly. Oh my
You know?
God. When I text my friends back in India, I would just get to the
Yeah.
point. I'd be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over here, you do that, and they're like, "Hi, how are you?"
A good, thank you.
Yeah.
I have to wait for that, and I hate it.
Yes,
but
and they
the
take
worst
they
texter.
text you, "Hi, how are you?" But then they
Never reply.
never reply, or they take
What
like
is the
half
point
an hour.
of asking?
Yeah.
How are you if you're not gonna tell me if you're good or not?
Yeah,
I
and
don't-
you're either way, you're still gonna tell me that you're good.
Good.
And so I already know. You're not gonna tell me, no, girl, I've had a bad day, because nobody shares that. Nobody's open about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is okay? Yeah.
It happens. It happens. One thing I've noticed when I met you, because I didn't know you,
Okay.
but I think I met you mid last year
After Corona's, your sister's
after the wedding, and you were
wedding.
at the wedding.
Yeah, I was at the wedding, and I would greet you, and you'd be like, "Who the heck?"
Yeah,
is
I'm
she?
like, what? Like,
is
who
she?
are you? Like,
What is happening?
get out of my, get out of my way.
Yeah, I feel like you did not know me. I could tell.
I'm very particular with people that I don't know. I'm
Yes.
like, clearly I don't know you, and clearly I make them feel like I don't know them.
you.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to me right now?
So I met you after my sister's wedding, and the first thing I've noticed when we started hanging out is that you don't have like an accent. Like you have okay,
I have
like a percentage wise, your accent being Indian is like maybe like a 20% compared to, I feel like, the notion that maybe I have and most of us have in our mind of what an Indian accent really sounds like, or what they
yeah.
portray in like personalities in movies or
yeah.
TV shows.
What
But
do
yours
you
is
want?
yours is like toned down.
Yes, a lot. I'm so glad you asked me this question. I'm so glad. Because people have asked me that, and I've been like, wait 1 second. I know. Well, okay, when you ask me that question, it gives me this huge rush of, oh my God, I'm pretending something. And you know, what do you have? There's the psychological term for that. It's like I'm disguised in, what is the
Blending
term?
in?
Yeah,
You're
I
trying to
know.
blend in, you're toning down. I'm throwing everything I have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, somebody who studied psychology. This
Oh
is
my God.
embarrassing.
You studied psychology?
Yeah, I did my honors in
Girl,
psychology.
get
back
your
in India.
fucking vocabulary in order. What is it
Sorry.
called?
Well, it feels like I'm this. You know, where you feel like you're deceiving someone, and you know you're not this person, but you're trying to be this person. But I would tell it's interesting that I felt more like myself here in Panama than I have had in India.
Oh,
It does feel like a switch for me.
yeah.
I've always been this person. I've been outgoing, confident, no, everything. But I have felt more open here. And why I'm talking about this, while you asked me about the accent, I do speak more normally like that. Like this comes to me more naturally than an Indian accent would. And I feel like I have to tone myself down over there to fit in and do the Indian accent.
How would you talk? How would you talk over there?
Yeah, it switches. I don't know how this is happening for even I am confused. Why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
But it happens when I'm talking to you or somebody here, anyone here in Panama, I would talk with this, which I'm more comfortable with.
Right.
Um,
But when you're talking
but when I'm talking to somebody
to your friends in
and
India,
and then it tones down a lot, and I do sound Indian then. I would talk normally, and I would do the T's and the D's and the
D's.
yeah.
I feel, here's the thing. Here's my study of it, my idea of it. Whenever I go to India, I can't talk like this.
Yeah.
Because
it switches yours. It happens yours. Like it happens
Yes.
naturally.
the people in India, when they speak in English, they understand better when you pronounce the T's
Yeah.
and the P's very like highly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I talk with my American accent and I'm like, hey, can you pass me that over there? They'll
Yeah,
be
you
like,
have to say
what
like 4
did
more
you
times,
say?
yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll have to tone it down. Please give me this over there. Like I do have to And it not in a
Yeah.
mocking way, but I do have to tone it down. And I was
Yeah.
talking to actually my sister Bauna when I'm not, we make fun of her for this, but when she talks to to my dad or to any uncle or auntie that are Indian, her English is like, why did you just switch to an Indian
Oh
accent?
my God.
And
I
she's
relate
like,
to that
because
so much.
they understand me better like that.
No, it happens yourself. Like
Yeah.
it happens naturally. To me, there's like a switch. When you have to do that to Indians, I have to do that over here. If I talk to them in an Indian accent, one, they will not take me seriously.
Yeah.
It is the sad truth, but they will not take me seriously, and they will not understand me. And I have seen that happen.
Yeah. Wow.
And so yeah, it happens. It comes to me naturally.
Nice.
It's fun. And also I would say, like, because a big part of my childhood has been like the rom-coms and the sitcoms, like the Friends, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and most of my time I feel like an imposter when I talk back in India, because like I said, I have to
You've been
be
surrounding
more
yourself with
Indian.
like these American TV shows.
Yes.
That it just has come naturally for you to adapt like a language that is less, like more toned down on the typical
Yes.
Indian accent.
And I feel like most of my people from my generation are struggling with that back in India
really?
as well. Yeah.
Oh, that would be
I
so
think-
great to like connect and like talk about that. Like really, because you know what I felt like when I tell Indian people that they have an accent, they get like,
Hello.
I don't have an accent. You have an accent. I'm like, yes, that's called the American accent. You have an Indian accent. And if a Russian talks in English, they have a Russian accent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why are Indians made fun of?
But no,
over
it's not.
something so.
Everybody's made fun of. Latins are made fun of their Latin English accent. Russians, have you seen comedians do the Russian English accent? Like everybody is made fun
Bizarre.
of. But I feel like Indian people take it too personally.
Because they make fun of us more.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know why.
That's
but,
true.
Well, yeah.
No, that's true. I'm not gonna lie. That's true. Talking about like, I feel like I can have a lot of conversations with you, and it'll just flow naturally. And I love like how outgoing you are, and most people won't know, but introducing, like you've mentioned that you dance, but most people don't know. Like I feel like you're an incredible dancer.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I haven't seen many Indian representative of dancing and being so outgoing of their skill of dancing.
Okay. I'd like to stop you there.
Okay.
And I feel like it's not just the dancing I represent. When you asked me for this, if I would join you over here, I was like, oh my God, wow. It was a little nerve-wracking because I feel like I'm representing a country right now, in a smaller scale, sure, but I'm representing not just dancing. I'm representing the whole country.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've always felt that when I go out, especially in Indian communities, where the setup is, and I'm new here, so I feel everyone looking at me.
Yeah.
So I feel this pressure that, oh my God, I have to behave a certain way. I have to be a certain way. I have to make sure that they know Indians are not dumb. And they're not just clumsy and underconfident. So when they talk to me, I feel this pressure that, oh my God, wait, I'm representing a country. I have to change their minds. I have to change how they think about Indians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're actively trying to represent the modern, revolutionized culture.
Modern India.
Yeah.
Everything their parents, well, I understand their side of the story as well. They haven't had much exposure to the modern India, and the only reference they have is their parents. And I'm sure they've been strict with them since their childhood. You have to do, you don't have to eat non-veg on certain days.
Yeah.
You have to be really, really academically successful.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're successful in any other area of your life, but academically you have to be for some reason.
And you're saying that that's not the case
Back in
India anymore? Like not
anymore.
generally,
Yes.
like
Generally, I feel like people have accepted that not everyone's supposed to be academically
Yeah.
excellent. Sure, there was an underlying pressure even when I was young, but now that I'm older, now that I'm sees that I'm doing something that I love doing, dancing. I love dancing, and she sees that I enjoy it, and she sees that I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I feel like the parents there have understood
and are more supportive
and are
of
more
other
supportive.
skills that their
Yeah.
kids might have acquired.
Exactly.
And do you think that translate into Indian parents in India are more open to that? And because you'll never find an Indian that was born and raised here in Panama being like, I'm going to be a professional dancer. You'll never.
You'll never.
Either they're business people or that's pretty much it, I guess.
Yeah, you have to do great in studies.
Yeah.
Or else you're a failure.
There's a lot of pressure here for us
Yeah.
to succeed.
Yeah, to succeed the business, of
Yes.
course. But then they're seeing like, oh, if you don't want to do my business, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like
So you
nothing but that.
You already come from a open and outgoing culture around you. That when you come here, you find people that are pretty close-minded from India,
Yes.
from the motherland.
From the motherland.
Because they're again stuck in what their parents used to teach them.
Exactly.
And they haven't evolved.
Yes.
Like, what do you say to those people? I feel
I
like
think go back to your
go visit more.
Go visit more.
Go visit more.
Go
Adapt
to your
yourself.
country. You know when I talk to non-Indians here in Panama, they're more interested in our culture.
Yeah.
And they're more interested to know what's happening. Well, I feel like I'm so blessed to have started over there than here, and I don't say it as an offense, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed that I started over there, and also I became this person before coming here to Panama, or else I feel like my confidence would have shattered in 2 seconds.
In 2 seconds.
Even now that
happens.
I am this person, I know who I am, which is why I feel like I stand tall. But even now when I go out, I feel judged. I feel seen.
Yes.
Like I feel like I've been watched.
Yeah.
And I've not
you are.
felt that in India. I have not felt that in India.
No, yeah.
And that's crazy to me. Indians here feel more Indian than back home.
And if you don't follow,
Yeah.
you're judged by it. You know, the funny story is that I had to leave this country. I lived in Canada for 14 years or more. And I had to leave this country to be able to find myself and be open and free, to come back and create this attitude of, I don't give a shit, I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on camera. I'm going to invite people. I'm going to talk. I'm going to party. I'm going to be myself. And I was only able to do that going out of this country.
Yeah. And it's so sad.
Because, it's sad because we're all stuck, or our parents and our uncles and the society is all stuck without insulting anybody or the culture. But we're all stuck in old age, and I think we need to evolve. And we see you coming from there. Like you're like colorful, you know what I mean? Colorful, bright personality, and we're like, where did you come from? Are you sure you were born and raised there?
Yeah, I've been told that. And I have said this to people, in no offense again, that it's not a compliment.
Yeah.
It's not. When you tell me that I don't...
It's sad.
When you tell me that, oh, are you from India? When you question that, it's not a compliment.
Oh.
It really is not. I feel sad when people say that. And I've had long connections with people, and after a while they're like, oh, I didn't know you were from India. What do you mean? And they seem genuinely shocked about it.
We are.
And
We are most definitely always are. The thing is, I know it's sad, man. I know. And I wish with this people can understand a little bit more and probably open doors to accepting that we've all evolved.
Yes.
Youngsters over there go into relationships as well,
go
boyfriend,
out
girlfriends.
there with my age of people, and you'll have a blast. You will know what India is. You will, yeah. The parties are better.
Yeah, there you go. Parties are better. Dude, parties are better. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
I agree. You have to go to India with me sometime.
We should, definitely.
We should go to India
But I don't know if...
with me.
Where? Bombay?
Bombay? Nah.
But what are we going to do in Gujarat? We can't even drink there.
Dude, no. Nobody's going to Gujarat.
Oh, okay. Where?
You think we have not drunk our lives? Well,
Yeah, but I'm not up to
it's not-
sneaking in alcohol. Like,
dude, that's more fun. You have no idea. You have no idea. It's more fun to break rules. But oh well, this is gonna go.
Whoa. Let's just stop there. Let's stop there.
Oh my god, no, but it's fun.
Okay, that's great.
Yes,
I hope that we get
we get to go.
we get to go, and also we get to like show a little bit more of modern India in this conversation. The next thing I wanted to talk about, which is my final point, and it's the most controversial point, and I've been wanting to talk about this with someone, is cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation, for those who don't know, is when a group of people that are not from one culture grabs like symbolic rituals or things that they do, or music, or even a little bit of the language or food even, and they kind of make it as an exotic thing, and then they try to practice it without understanding the meaning behind it or where it came from or anything. So one of my favorite examples are in North America, when like white people open up like a yoga spa.
That's so funny.
And also they start chanting like Indian sounding words, but they don't know. Okay, first of all, not every Indian practices yoga. We're like, that's not a thing.
Yeah, we're
And
not
also,
acrobats. Not all of us.
I feel like a lot of people think India, oh, everybody must know yoga, so I'm gonna mention like a yoga pose and you should know.
No. Well, yeah, I have practiced yoga most of my life, and yes, not everybody practices yoga, but we have a working knowledge because, well, it helps. We've been there, we've been talked about this for a while. So of course we have like a working knowledge of yoga, which is definitely more than those studios.
Yeah.
Those people who.
Yeah. What do you think of those people? Like,
it's super funny. It's. And again, no offense,
like they start
but
like
it's so
they grab a
funny.
little drum
when
and they start.
When they do this chanting in their extremely American accent,
Yeah.
and I don't understand a word they're saying, but they're doing it with so much confidence and so much
spirituality.
so much concentration.
Yeah, they're connected.
And it looks fake to me personally. Yeah. It feels fake, and yoga is not a form of exercise. It's a lifestyle. And it is a part of Hinduism. It's a part of a religion. It's a part of a culture. It's not exercise. So first of all, let's start with that.
Love it.
Get that.
Yeah, get that straight, guys.
Yes.
Like even tattoos, like when people that are non-Indian, they tattoo like an om or like anything in Sanskrit, and like that's like
even I don't understand Sanskrit of this.
No one understands Sanskrit unless you have to study for it to do like rituals or like wedding rituals or stuff like that.
But I'll tell you one thing. I feel like, yes, it should be a part of your life. And if you're interested if you're really passionate about it, I love that people want to follow it. I like the idea of people, diving into this, getting to know our culture more. I love it. But
you love like an American person using like those like baggy Aladdin pants and wearing like
that's the funniest thing ever. Oh my god.
Chain, and then having like Sanskrit, like namaste in Sanskrit, because
well, okay, I've pledged to be a kinder person, so I'm gonna be kind about this, and I'm gonna as much as it's funny, I think it's also cute.
Yeah.
I think it's also it's important to know what you're doing before doing. Of course, if you're mocking it, or you don't know what's happening and you're still doing it for the feels of it, please don't do that. But if you are actually interested, there's nothing more interesting than this. If I could promote yoga every day, I would do it because it is really, really, really good for you.
Yes.
And I would love that for you. If you actually want to do it, do it. But if you're doing it just for the sake of being exciting,
it's a trend. So
it's a trend. So let's just like I do yoga. It's
hot tantra yoga.
Oh my God, there was this one reel I saw. They were doing yoga while.
Wow.
Am I allowed to say
Smoking?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weed?
Yeah, smoking
Wow.
weed. I mean,
How?
they were like, "Oh, let's do it. It's a class where we're high and we're doing yoga."
That's the cultural appropriation that I'm talking about.
That's insulting.
Yeah, there you go. I've been trying to get to that.
It's insulting.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, people who have no idea what yoga is are gonna think that, oh, that's normal.
Yeah, people smoke weed.
People smoke weed, and
in India is normal. And
it's not normal.
You know what? You want to know a funny story that I don't think I've said it to anybody, not even my sisters or any. I was wearing a tank top, and my aunts from India were here. And so they looked at my tattoo and they kind of like got close and they started reading, and it's in Sindhi.
Okay.
This tattoo is in Sindhi.
First of all, boundaries. Nobody.
No, but I do.
India.
They're my aunts, so I love them, and they're like.
Don't be surprised if actual Indian who you have no connection with does that to you.
No, I don't. I'm not surprised. I see the community that we're living in.
No concept of boundaries.
So, and they're like, "Why did you tattoo in Sindhi if you don't even know how to talk the language?" And I'm like, "Well,
but you are Sindhi.
I am Sindhi."
And
I'm not, what, would you rather me tattoo something in Chinese? I don't think so, right? So they were like mocking me plainly. I don't think that they understood that they were mocking me at the time. But I'm like,
most of it is unplanned. They do it, they've practiced it so much.
It's already natural.
It's natural to them.
It comes as when you say hi, hello, they're like, they're mocking you.
Or when you're getting married.
Yeah. Well, fuck.
I'm sorry. And it's not offensive. They're like, that was a genuine question.
Yeah.
When are you getting married?
Yeah.
We have full rights to know that right now.
You're getting old and your eggs are getting less. And you need to have babies. So you need to get
that
married.
got real for you.
No, they've said, they're like, I think I was 24 and they're like, you're approaching your most fertile years, and after 25, you're not going to be too fertile.
Did they use the term fertile?
Yes.
Oh my God.
They went scientific on me.
Fertile.
Yeah.
They said that.
Yeah.
This is so funny. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I feel like I've had more conversation by myself because of marriage than people actually being interested in me. You see, because of dancing, I've went to a lot of weddings.
Yes.
And I've met a lot of people, which is why I have this knowledge. But I feel like I've been asked questions in a way that I know that they want to know, because they eventually want to talk to me about marriage. And it's so weird.
It's not back home. They don't pressure you, or they.
No, they don't pressure
the
me.
opening to a conversation is not, "Hi, when are you getting married?"
No.
Weird.
Even like today.
Why do we do that here?
They're like, how old are you? I'm 25. Oh, so are you married? No. Oh, that's why you're smiling.
Oh, actually, yes.
Well, I'm happy. Thanks.
I'm really happy not being married. Actually, yes.
But this is the first time I'm meeting the guy.
Yeah.
And this is the first 3 sentences that comes out of his
Wow. No filter.
No filter.
Wow, those are
like
that.
Wow.
So straightforward.
See it in their eyes that they're thinking about the guys they want to introduce me to. And
see,
you
that's
can just
a
see it
thing.
in their eyes.
Yeah,
you can just see it.
My sister went to a party once, or to like a dinner or a get together, and there was a few aunties, like my dad's cousins, around, and they approached my sister and they were like, I got someone for your sister, so send me her WhatsApp. And I'm like,
Why can't they just talk to the parents about this?
or why can't they just not do that? Period.
Well, see, I feel like I'm not against marriage.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful concept. I'm all for it. But I'm young.
Yeah.
And things have changed. My parents are not pressuring me to this. I feel like I talk to people here, random strangers, more about marriage than I talk to my parents about it. Like they know that if I do find someone, I'm gonna let them know, and there's no pressure here, and they want to see me happy. That's the end of the line. That's not marriage is not the end of the line.
Yeah.
They want to see me happy. It's the end of the line.
I feel like a lot of Indians, like we've established earlier, they're so stuck in like 10, 15 years ago India that for them, marriage is pretty much the end of the line. Marriage is the reason why you should be happy. Marriage is the reason for living. It's like the
she
end
must
goal.
not be happy because she's not married yet.
Actually, I am actually happy that I'm not married.
Yeah, no, I can see it.
Thank you. I
You're
wear
glowing,
it proudly.
girl.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't glow anymore after marriage.
I mean, with the right person, I feel like you will always and always.
It's just fun and games until you say it. But I really do believe if you find the right person, it's important to it's that companionship is important in your life.
Totally.
But by the right person, not under a pressure of some random person trying to understand why you're single.
Yes, absolutely.
That's not fair.
I feel like we can talk about this for days.
Forever.
And I feel like I want to have other open conversations with you about other different situations that we go through here and situations that you go through in India. And I would love to have you back. But
I would love to be back.
We're pretty much at the end, and thank you so much for accepting this, coming here, for giving us this like new version of India that is so refreshing. For me, I appreciate it so much.
You know, I remember having this conversation with you. I want to mention it. The first time you came to me at the spa, and you were like, after the wedding, because I could see, like, we've discussed this, that, oh, who are you? And then at the spa, you were like, you're my sister, no? And I was like, yeah, I am. Yes, we're sisters, we're cousin sisters. And then we talk a bit more. And then the next time you came in, and the next time you came in, I feel like after that, you opened up to me more. And then there was this one time, even you said, you were like, oh, you're cool. You're not like the Indians I'm used to.
Yeah, it's just that over here you can't connect to a Latin Indian. You can't connect this way.
No.
And so having like easy conversations with you was so easy. It was so refreshing that I was like, dude, I can joke with this person and she'll get it and she'll follow my joke. Like, this is fucking awesome. And over here, like, no offense to any Indian lady, but I feel like we're pretty stuck up and like in a bad way, and I feel like we should change. But and that's pretty much the end of this podcast.
That was fun.
Yay! Right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
glad.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
It's been fun.